FOX10 Gulfstream. This is Next Weather.
All right, thank you for joining us here on Next Weather. I'm going to take a look at the day planner for tomorrow. It's going to be another hot, steamy, scorching one out there. High temperatures in Mobile around the upper 90s with mostly sunny skies throughout the day. Why? Well, this big ridge of high pressure that we've been talking about for the past few days. You can see it right here on the water vapor imagery spinning. We have some thunderstorms now developing on the edge of the ridge here, some high clouds at least, and in here in North Alabama and then Tennessee and into northern Georgia. We might see a few high clouds overnight tonight, but overall just a hot picture. We have some heat alerts that'll be impacting us tomorrow. Heat advisory and excessive heat warning. It's something that we've been talking about for the past few days. Now, this excessive heat warning for the western half of our area, our Mississippi counties, because I think that's where the highest levels of heat will be. Heat index values around 113 in our Mississippi county, so keep that in mind all day for your Friday. Here's a look at that heat index forecast for tomorrow, especially in the western half of our area. You can see 110, 110, 110. It could even see higher, up to 113. For the rest of our area, we're dealing with heat index values most likely topping out around 108 to 110. So not looking too great out there. 106, 107. It is definitely going to be a hot one. Make sure you are staying hydrated. And a great way to cool off is going to be down at our area beaches. The rip current risk is thankfully low, and it looks like it's going to stay low for the next few days. Mostly sunny skies, temperature around 93 degrees. Like I said, rip current risk, it is staying low for the next few days into the holiday weekend here. As always, keep an eye to those local beach flags and what the lifeguards have to say as well. I know we're posting some new signs up there. Make sure you give them a read if you're heading down to the beaches. Now, over the next 5 days, when does this heat end? Well, we're looking at the heat index values. Remember, heat index, temperature, and humidity. 106 for the next couple of days, at least in Mobile, and then dropping very slightly as we get towards next week as this ridge of high pressure dissipates, and we'll have more on that later. So here it is, 98 degrees. Temperatures dropping as we get in towards 4th of July, high temperature around 92 degrees. Now, with this ridge of high pressure, it suppresses air, and we're not going to have any thunderstorms around most likely. The futurecast is completely clear, only picking up on maybe a few high clouds into your Friday. Otherwise, a very dry picture, only a couple isolated thunderstorms elsewhere. Here's a look at that 7-day outlook. Very hot the next couple days. That July 4th forecast is looking typical. Very, very typical, with an afternoon rain chance and a high around 92. All right, coming up on Next Weather, heat, heat, heat. Our entire Storm Tracker team is keeping you updated. Meteorologist Michael White will have the latest on this ridge of high pressure that's coming up.
Can I play? Sure, but you need to bring your own truck. That's not a problem.
The FOX10 Storm Tracker fleet, taking you live to more places, covering the Gulf Coast like no one else can. Unrivaled experience, unparalleled severe weather coverage.
I think I need a bigger sandbox.
Our big heat wave this week has been caused by what is known as a heat ridge. Meteorologist Michael White has more details on what this is.
It has been extremely hot this week, and if you've been watching Fox 10, you've been hearing us talk all about a heat dome, a heat ridge. What exactly is that? What does it do? Well, when you look at an upper air chart, particularly winds at 18,000 feet off the ground, they may look like this. This is what you may see. And notice there's a big circle. We'll zoom in toward that says 594. That is the center of the upper high, and that is a clockwise rotation of wind. And that high pressure center is essentially blocking rain and storms from coming through and producing sinking air. So it results in fair weather with a lot of sunshine and few clouds. And when the air sinks, it warms. It allows temperatures to rise, and all of the showers and storms that we would see from fronts are all blocked as a result of that big dome of high pressure. And you could see on the precipitation chart that there's just no precipitation around parts of the southeast near the Gulf Coast, around Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, anywhere near that dome of heat. And even pop-up showers that we get in the summer have a tough time happening because that dome essentially blocks it. Because the air is sinking to the ground, it blocks the uplift from those showers and storms. So what's going to happen next week after the weekend as we get closer to the 4th of July? Well, the upper air pattern is going to flip. So that's the upper air pattern now, and this is a look at it as we head in toward the beginning of next week. You can see the heat ridge is gone, and the pattern is going to change. That is going to allow our afternoon highs to start to go down. Things are going to start to get cooler. Highs will drop back into the low 90s instead of the upper 90s. And we will be allowed to see showers and storms coming back into the forecast. We could deal with some of those on the 4th of July. We will deal with probably several right after the 4th of July. We'll zoom in and you can see that rainfall totals aren't overwhelming. Of course, in the summer, these maps don't do a lot of good because of the wide variety of the nature of storms and the wide placement of the storms, but we are going to see the rain chances coming back and the heat levels beginning to come down as we head into next week once this dome of heat finally leaves us. But in the short term, remember, you have to use caution in this type of environment. Heat exhaustion, heat stroke can happen quickly. Staying hydrated is the most important. Try to avoid being outside between noon and 5. That's the hottest part of the day. Take advantage of daylight saving time. Try to do a lot of activities in the early evening at dusk or early in the morning. That's when things are the most tolerable outside. But don't play around with heat like this. It's just way too dangerous. Now, I'll keep you updated on the pattern changes on Fox 10. And, of course, the entire Fox 10 weather team is going to keep you updated right here on Next Weather. I'm meteorologist Michael White.
Some great information there on the science of what's going on. I wanted to kind of reiterate a little bit of what he said and give you a closer look. So as he mentioned, nothing going on under this heat ridge. You can see the clear skies. There was only, he mentioned this, pop-up thunderstorms normally don't happen under the ridge. Well, this is very true, and as you can see, most of the area is clear except for this one storm that happened to fire off, and I think we might even have some kind of surface boundary oriented along that fired that storm north of Lake Pontchartrain there. And we have some higher clouds that are in northern Alabama. Now, as he mentioned, this heat ridge is sticking with us. Here it is right now, once again, on that water vapor imagery with storms circulating around it. Here's a different look at it. Think of it as the heat dome, as Michael said. Here it is over the southern United States. Storms are rotating around this heat dome. It's actually, like he said, an upper ridge of high pressure. You can see this storm system that is moving around it actually blocks anything happening. There it is. That's going to push down to our area, not bringing storms, but likely some high clouds for sure. And as you can see, actually some potent thunderstorms out there. Very severe thunderstorms went through Illinois and Indiana. Now, as we mentioned, this thing is going to be breaking down over the next few days. Here's the breakdown on the similar chart to what Michael showed. This is the GFS, brighter red colors indicating where the ridge of high pressure is in the upper levels, the heat dome. Notice the red goes away slightly. Yes, that ridge does weaken. Now, we mentioned maybe rain chances come back. Well, let's keep going. So we might have another bit of a ridge that develops over Florida. And notice this, southerly flow gets introduced. That's moisture coming into our area once again next week. This is on 4th of July. That will trigger some thunderstorm chances for sure. Also makes those temperatures drop down into the low 90s, which is typical for this time of year. And here's a breakdown of those 7-day rain chances. As you can see, those rain chances do come up as the ridge weakens. So coming up, I'll have a full look at that extended outlook. We'll break down that 4th of July forecast.
New to the Fox 10 weather app, your 24-hour radar forecast. Be the first to see how precipitation is going to affect your plants across the Gulf Coast. Detailed hour by hour. The 24-hour radar forecast on the Fox 10 weather app. Plus the latest breaking news with the Fox 10 News app.
Got him both.
Stay alert with Fox 10. Prime time is Fox 10 time.
The latest on the night's top stories are first on Fox 10 News at 9.
Wrap up your day, informed and ready for the morning.
All right, throughout this, we've talked about all the ingredients that are going into this 7-day forecast. The ridge of high pressure in control, bringing us high temperatures in the next couple days. As the ridge weakens, we start to introduce a little bit of a rain chance. Temperatures also drop. 4th of July, the forecast is very, very typical for the time of year. Starts warm and muggy in the morning. An afternoon thunderstorm, very likely. That thunderstorm fades into the evening hours, most likely at least. You remember, we always dodge it. And then in the evening, lingering clouds and the fireworks can go. Looking at the full 10-day outlook, it looks like we keep that pattern. In fact, a bit of a similar forecast towards the end of next week. High temperatures around 90 degrees and a 40% chance for rain. Thank you for joining us here on Next Weather.